Hi everyone, it's Almighty Cthulhu, back here in the shed, just coming here to talk to you guys today. This time about abortion. I know, everybody's this way and everybody's that way about it, and no one can come to a middle ground either. And I don't really want to argue either of the moral quandaries on it today, mostly because I don't know where I sit on it myself. I can see both sides of the argument. I understand that there are some medical issues that sometimes prevent people from having children, as sometimes people are messed up and some terrible things happen, and it'd be better if the person got the abortion, that just in that circumstance. But anecdotal evidence and actually what's happening, or we shouldn't be basing politics on anecdotes. On the other hand, I work with pizza. I can tell you that if we top a pizza and put it in the oven, and then somebody calls us to cancel that pizza, we don't take it out of the oven. That's about all I got to say on that end of it. I'm not very bound to this by religion. Um, we'll talk about that later, I guess. I don't think I addressed it in the first video, but this is the second video, and this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. I think that a lot of people get stuck in this quagmire between these two. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it wrong? And this is my whole problem with it. I think that people will always disagree on this. This is going to be something that the fight will go on for forever. The fight will keep going until we stop having babies through us, maybe. Who knows what science is going to bring around the corner in the next century. We might not even be having our own babies here in a millennia or two. We have no idea. I can't speculate on it. I'm not a scientist. Like I said, I'm a pizza dude. But yeah, I think the real issue that we need to talk about with this is the federalization of it. As I said in my last video, I'm a little bit of a libertarian, so whenever the federal government has anything to say about anything, I don't really like it very much. They should only be doing three things. They should be doing infrastructure, they should be doing the military, and they should be doing our borders. That's pretty much all I think that we should have the federal government for. Maybe busting monopolies and dealing with peace treaties and all that sort of thing, obviously. But they should be pretty limited. And my issue with the federal government weighing in on this in any means, whether it's siding with the right or the left, the freedom to choose or the freedom to live, I guess. Like I said, I'm trying not to get stuck in moral quandaries with this. The issue is if the government has, like the federal government has anything to say about it, we're never going to change it. If everybody was to choose tomorrow that abortion was wrong, if tomorrow everybody decided that they're never going to have an abortion again, and that's just the way the world works, if we all just magically agreed. Now, there's no way that we can tell if our descendants are going to agree with that as well. And when you put things in at the federal level, they don't like to change. They'll stay. It's super hard to change this massive government. If you put something into law, like I guess the best example that I would have for this circumstance would be the war on drugs. It's objectively a failure. When you look at the war on drugs, you see tons of people imprisoned on minor petty charges. It hasn't stopped people from doing drugs. If anything, it's increased the amount of what people are doing drugs. And yeah, it's just sucking up tax dollars, and it's still going on. And we all realize this, but we can't, like, it still hasn't come to an end. It's still going on, and it's been going on for forever. We might see the end of it in our lifetimes. Hopefully we see the end of this in our lifetimes, because it's so much federal overreach. There's no reason why the government should be, well, at least the federal government should be telling people what to do with their bodies. And that's kind of where I'm coming back to this abortion thing. So if the federal government were to come in and say, abortions all the time, no abortions, I'm sorry, we're going to go back to what I was doing before. No abortions. You all have to have children. Well, 3 generations down the road, if our kids, or I guess grandkids, or great-grandchildren in that circumstance, disagree with us, if all of them change their mind and decide that it's all right to have abortion, they're going to have to fight so hard to get that right back from the government, at least the federal government. And that's kind of a problem. That's kind of like generational tyranny. And we millennials deal with this all the time. We talk about Social Security, something that we didn't really get a choice on. We're not going to see anything of. I mean, it's up in the air on that one still. I can't really talk too much about it. Like I said, it's kind of an opinion piece, but it doesn't look too great for us as far as Social Security goes. But we're paying for people's pensions, and we're probably not going to see any of that, assuming that it's going as it is right now. So, we, 2 generations away from these baby boomers, didn't get any right. We didn't have any way to decide whether we thought this was a good thing or a bad thing, and we are still dealing with it. Now, since this is at the federal level, the likelihood of us getting rid of Social Security within our generation, or at least starting the fight to get rid of it, if that's your thing, if that's what you want to do, it's going to be really, really hard. But if it was a state level thing, it'd be a lot easier to change. And this is where I think that we should be going with abortion. I don't think that people in California, for instance, should be deciding, they're 2,500 miles away, what we should be doing here in Ohio. Now, I'm an adult, they're adults over there. I shouldn't be able to decide for them what they want to do with abortion. That's their choice. Like I said, they're adults. If they know what's best for themselves, then they should know what's best for themselves. But that doesn't mean that they know what's best for us here in Ohio either. I've been to California. I really like California. I love the mountains. I've been to San Francisco. It's a really cool place, but I don't live there. I don't know what it's like to live there, so I wouldn't never presume to tell those people how to live their lives. Now, take that as you will, I guess. But yeah, if it was on a, like, if they out there in California decide that they want to have free abortions and free childcare and all those sorts of things and free healthcare, they can do that. They should be allowed to do that. They should be able to, if they can manage to afford it, that is, of course, because we shouldn't be paying for it over here. We don't live in California. Why would I be paying for healthcare for people all the way out there? Especially if they want open borders and all that. But that's a story for another day. We're not going to get into that right now, because we're talking about this right now. So yeah, maybe we should just keep it like in the States. Maybe the federal government shouldn't have anything to say about this, because who are they? They're just a bunch of us from all over the country and too goddamn far away from here. That's true. If we can have this conversation within the state, at least I can figure out how I feel about it morally with people who live in an area like me and are, like me. I would assume that I have a lot more in common with the average Ohioan as compared to the average Californian. We're just from a similar area. We're from similar cultures. We deal with this shitty winter all the time together. Like, we know what it's like to be stuck in here instead of those. Yeah. So we know, we have some, it's a little bit more of a homogeneous culture. Maybe not homogeneous, but something like that. Yeah, been rambling on a little bit too long here. I wasn't really planning on making this video over 10 minutes long, so I'm probably gonna get going. But yeah, we shouldn't be letting the federal government decide what anybody in the state. Just let the states have it, man. Give it back to the states, because people in that, if I'm in Ohio, we decide to ban abortion, and I really want abortion, I can move to California. And if people over in California really don't like abortion and they want to move to a place that doesn't allow abortion, and they can move to Ohio. So just let people decide in the areas that they live. Stop trying to push things on people who live 2,500 miles away. Because it's not going to work. That's why we fought the Revolutionary War. But yeah, that's about all I got to say about it before I start rambling and going in circles. I'm sure this is a very rambly video. Obviously, this is kind of freeform. But it will get better as time goes along, hopefully. So this is Almighty Cthulhu. I'm just going to sit here and I'll wait for the stars to turn.